for several months.
Yeah.
No, there's a lot of that. A lot of that stuff going on.
You know what? I appreciate your staff volunteers.
So, that's pretty much
You're first. And you can go run everything else. You guys get to
social events, church there.
Oh, how funny. No, you, she's 3 days my daughter. So when I called my daughter, after I got a phone, my daughter, I called you, or I text you.
I thought you were right down.
I was at work. No, thank you. Yeah, no, thank you. No.
Okay. Sure. Yeah.
Sharon, I already have the updated, correct? Or has it
So
been
you have a
updated again?
These. We have A through M on the consent.
Super.
That was one of the changes. A through M.
The back door can stay open as long as the main door's locked.
Yes.
That's the right one. Oh, okay.
Did you text her?
Oh, there she is.
I've been here 20 minutes.
You're right.
I just have to behave myself. See, that's why you didn't hear me. Can I say hello.
Thank you.
Just Charles.
So I made the mistake of asking.
You're operating as their own. Just have a slideshow.
Yes, sorry.
Because see, we have 3 places.
And can I just read that?
I'm-
And you're into the 4, 5, 6.
Dollars. But I've done that before.
It's sure nice to see you, Julie.
Julie Bryce.
Hi. So good to see you. You too. I'm here. I'm so glad.
Fiddles tomorrow.
I don't put them in order. Believe she has to.
I saw something that Summer posted, and I read it, I just was reading it, and I was like, what?
Should I go back to Thank you to support you now. Huh? Yes. Although she's here before you, I was a little worried about you because.
Good evening. I'd like to call this month's board meeting to order. Thank you all for joining us. We have some really special presentations this evening. With that, if you are able, please stand and join me in the pledge. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Item number 4 is adoption of our agenda. I'll entertain a motion to adopt tonight's agenda.
I'll make a motion to adopt tonight's agenda.
And a second.
I will second.
Which one? Thank you. Marshall. All in favor? Aye. Thank you. Item 5, call to the public. Karen, do you have any cards?
I have none.
Is there anyone else that wants to speak that did not fill out a card? Seeing none, we'll move on. Item 6 is our information and discussion items. First up is the Yavapai County Education Foundation grant update. We're going to have some presentations on this, and we're going to ask Lorinda Johnson to be first.
I get to go first. There's just a little handout with the board if you would like one. I got the grant and used it to buy STEM products for my kindergarten class. And STEM is science, technology, mathematics, and engineering, not in that order. And these are materials that work on collaboration and cooperation for the kids. They teach critical thinking skills. And in kindergarten, they think they're toys, but they're basically building and collaborating together to make bigger projects. Like there's magnets or there's things they put together. And in low-income districts like ours, a lot of our kids are not exposed to things that are critical thinking skills and allowing that type of play. So this grant allowed me to get them the little tubs, and they love to play with the boxes, and it's made a big difference for them. So I appreciate the grant, and I appreciate the ability to have those materials.
Congratulations on receiving it. Does anyone have any comments or questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Now I'm going to go in order. We're going to hear next from Jenna Ballard. Calm down.
All right. I'll pass. They put me around.
This way, I thought it was.
I also applied for a CEF grant and received it, and our school matched it, and that was awesome. So what an incredible gift. That might not look like an incredible gift, but the pickleball paddles that we had were old, falling apart. Some of them were like split in half. And we really couldn't teach pickleball. And with the way pickleball is like such a craze now in not just the US, but all over the world, we were just like, we really need to do pickleball with our students. So the grant allowed us to buy 48 pickleball paddles, which means we can now play pickleball with our whole class, and everybody has their own paddle. So it's awesome. And also this might not seem like a big deal, but I have shot for pickleballs like all over the place. And the pickleballs that we got with this grant are awesome. Not a single one of them. We have 24, and not a single one of them broke or cracked. If I get them from Walmart, like wiffle balls, they fall apart the first day we use them. So what a gift to be able to do that. And looking forward, I already have students that are like, well, we're not in your PE classes anymore, but we want to play pickleball and we want to start a pickleball club. And I'm like, oh, that would be awesome. But when would we have the gym? So we have to kind of look at that. And another exciting thing now that we have the equipment is maybe someday having the dream that those, I know it's a double owned, I believe, the tennis courts, or is it just us? Okay. That maybe we could turn some of the tennis courts, paint them into pickleball courts, because we need tons more pickleball courts. And even Special Olympics Arizona has approached Chino Valley High School, and they're going to be starting pickleball in Special Olympics. So they've already approached us. Would you like to help pilot that program? So that's very exciting. So you may see me up here more, applying for more grants for more pickleball equipment, nets and things like that. But what a gift, and we're so grateful and thankful. So any questions?
That's awesome. Pickleball is all the rage. And turning your tennis courts into one is not hard.
Okay, no, just paint them, I guess. So, all right, thank you.
Questions?
Isn't that the same? That's all that changed. Isn't that the-
All right, Mr. Krug, we're going to call on you next.
Everybody brought toys.
Well, I didn't bring my big toys, so
This is the speaker.
make sure that is off. With my YCEF grants, there was a lot of things that I needed being a first year PE program that I think Mrs. Ballard told me 15 years since we've had PE. So there was a lot of things that we had, but we didn't have. So I kind of used it as a hodgepodge to purchase some items. One of them is a speaker. PE class, a lot of times kids like to listen to music. We use the speaker to use it as a metronome. I attach it to my phone and we use it for beats to do exercises. Electric whistle. Those things have become my favorite thing because I don't have to worry about blowing it all the time. And then cones to mark the fields because I don't know where I'm at half the time, depending on the weather. I'm either inside, outside, in a classroom, wherever. And then pennies. I've got 48 pennies, 4 different colors, and it just allowed me to do a lot of the little things that allow me to make PE somewhat enjoyable for little kids. So.
Awesome. Any other questions, comments?
How loud is the speaker?
It is very loud. It is very loud
I
outside.
didn't ask to play it in here. I'm just.
Oh, no,
I'm
I don't have my
just
phone hooked up to it. So it is very loud. It's loud enough for the kids to hear it. Like I said, when we do different activities, one of them was we did an activity where they had to manipulate items through the gym. So I played music from Super Mario Brothers. So, it was kind of like a video game. But then, like I said, we used the metronome for exercises, for rhythmic activities to teach them to control their body as they do their activities.
So since he asked about the speaker, how about the whistle? Pretty loud?
Yeah, you don't want it to go off.
Okay.
And that's why I made sure it's off. It's very loud. I actually use it a lot at lunch, during lunchtime, kids in the cafeteria.
That's awesome.
But it is very good, so.
Well, thank you.
And
Congratulations.
For pop-up soccer goals too, so I left those at home or in the classrooms.
I'm just glad we have PE again.
Oh, yes, the kids love it. The kids love it. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, let me see where I'm at. Let's go with Steve. Oh, back there. We see you.
Board members pet. Yeah, a couple of rhymes, so. All right, so I applied for the grant for my STEM and robotics class, first year at Heritage Middle School. So again, it was lacking a lot of the basics, things like that. And so you can see on the handout there, the different items I was able to purchase. Plus I was able to buy 2 additional robots for my robotics class. And so they're able to be designed, coded, and then they have different competitions each week. So they have a different design competition. So they have to build it and then code it, and then we have a competition. And then sometimes it's 2 weeks, but different things like that. Other small projects. So that's my robotics class. My STEM class is Mission to Mars, and so we have a theme that we do, and we're able to do different projects. Like this one is a pneumatic bridge that they built. And we talked about the difference between pneumatics and hydraulics and how expensive it would be to transport liquids to Mars. And so pneumatics would be a more viable option, things like that. And so we just, lots of supplies for STEM activities, robotics activities, so they can learn critical thinking and technologies of the future. And really today now, robotics is everywhere, so.
Quick question. Now, the device you've got there, is that a kit that they build, or is that coming semi, you're just basically training the programming to use it?
So if you look at the picture there, it's a kit, and in the little boxes there, it comes in pieces, and then they have to assemble it.
Okay.
So, it's,
But it's one per class or one per student?
it's right now it's one for every 4 students. I'm trying to get it to one to every 2 students. So I'm still applying for other grants because, when you get 4 kids on one robot, it's a little bit hard
Right for
to,
time.
yeah. So if you get it down to 2, then you got,
Now, are these reusable next year?
oh yeah, they're good. Some of the robots, I've been doing robotics after school for 8-9 years now. And some of the robots are 9 years old.
Cool.
So yeah, they last a long time.
And the programming I'm sorry to.
Oh, no problem.
The programming comes as a clean slate each time. So they've got to start with the basics on the programming of them.
Yeah, so it's block coding to start with. So they drop blocks, turn right, turn left, drive
Right,
forward. And then eventually, if they're with me long enough, they can do Python coding.
Oh, very
So, that leads into industry.
cool. That's so neat.
Thank you. Up next, we have Rob Lynch.
I didn't bring any handouts, but I did bring a slideshow. Maybe.
You ready to roll?
Yep. Okay, so what I asked for, starting my timer, is funding for drum blocks. And what drum blocks is, the reason I couldn't bring you anything is because it's all online. So the particular one that we're talking about today also happens to be on Mars. So what the $500 gives me is access to 112 different lesson plans that are online that I can use with my students. The first one that we did is actually flying a drone on Mars. So if you could go to the next one, please. So what they were supposed to do, if you look back up behind you there, we have the solar array or the solar panels that are set up on Mars. And they had to take the drone off, fly it in a rectangular shape around the drone or around the solar array, and then put it back down on the landing pad. So these are some of my students working on that. Next one, please. Then we stepped it up a little bit, and now you had to actually get the drone up high enough that it didn't hit the solar panels. So that was a different level of coding involved right there. Then they had to fly a triangle over the top of it. So it gave me an opportunity to talk about math and the difference between 4 90-degree corners and 3 120-degree corners. So it would actually make a triangle. Next one, please. Then they had to step it up even further. Now we have 6 angles. I had 6 sixth graders just this morning who successfully created a hexagon. One of them created a hexagon so big it was over the top of the entire Mars simulation, which takes about a minute to fly your drone back and forth across the top of it. So that was pretty impressive. Next one, please. So thinking outside the box, literally, they had to draw a shape that would run a yellow line across all 9 of the solar panels and touch each one of them. So far, none of my students have successfully completed that challenge. It took me almost 2 hours over the weekend when I was doing it because I did not look at the title and think outside the box. I was thinking of trying to cover the 9 of them with only 4 lines, not thinking outside the box. So if you go to the next one, should have the solution if you click. There we go. So the solution is that you have to draw a line up above, beyond, come back in, and then go diagonally back off of that. The 6th grade girl who left today, I was giving her suggestions for how she might go and Google that information, and she put her hand up and told me to stop, that she was going to figure it out on her own. If she does, she'd be the only one out of 6th, 7th, and 8th grade that's been able to solve it so far. Next one, please. So I was able to purchase a year-long subscription with Drone Blocks. The subscription allows me unlimited access to their simulators. So next year, hopefully, we'll actually be able to get a full cage around one of my Tello drones, use this activity, and actually launch a drone in the classroom with the code that we did in Drone Blocks, and then actually test it in the simulator, and then actually fly it out in the hallway or something like that so no one gets injured. So thank you very much for Yavapai County Educational Foundation. Fantastic learning opportunity for my students.
All right, next next is Josh Steinberg.
Don't look at me like that. I offered to help you make a slideshow.
Well, I don't have a slideshow or I don't have props. I used my grant money this year for consumables. So all the consumables that I bought were sharp. And so if I pass those around to you guys, we risk somebody getting cut. So I opted not to bring any of those. So I bought like 700 scroll saw blades. And if you don't know what they are, they're about 5 inches by maybe a 1/16. And so they break easy. The kids go through them pretty fast. I bought table saw blades and a set of drill bits. These are just things that we use every single day in the shop. We go through them. So this year when I got the grant and was awarded that, I opted to buy those and keep them in stock because once they wear out, we just have to keep replacing them. I do have, this was made from 2 students that work together on the cougar head right there that's hanging on the wall. So I didn't bring anything, so we have that's in here all the time for you guys to see. So thank you very much for awarding me the grant, whoever's here.
Anyone have any questions for Mr. Steinberg?
Tour that shop. It's
Yeah.
unbelievable.
I actually saw a cutting board recently that somebody made and it was amazing.
Yeah, and if you haven't been by to, see the kids in action, I invite you.
I would like to do that. Sure, absolutely.
So
I guess Daniel's-
what Mr. Steinberg, Mr. Lynch, and Mr. Boer don't know is that we are awarded $46,000 today from Mountain Institute to further build out their programs.
Oh, wow.
Gil will be going over additional equipment lists with them tomorrow.
And I still have the things that they made, and they graduated years and years ago. So, you never know, parents keep those things. And I still have mine, what my kids made for me. So,
I want you to let my mom threw everything that I made away.
Come by. Come by sometime and we'll hook you up.
Well, and I say this every time there's anyone representing one of the shops is it's really near and dear to my heart. My dad was a shop teacher for 40 years, so keep up the good work.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. Oh, Miss Boris, do we have examples?
We do. She's the best. So I put in for the grant and was awarded the grant, and I immediately thought of all the kids that were going to state. So last year when I went to state, there was a new event called Culinary Display. And I realized I didn't have anything, if my kids wanted to compete in that area, I didn't have anything for them to display their things with. So I had a student this year doing cookie display. I had another one doing a wedding cake display. And so the first thing I thought on my list was I need stuff for the kids to show their items off. And then the second thing I didn't have enough of was baking equipment. I didn't have enough cake pans for each student to make cakes. So we do a cake competition. So there's 28 something kids doing a cake. And I didn't have enough pans for each of them to make their own cakes in. And I was having to make them wash them. And it was just crazy. And this way they were able to make their own cakes at their own time. So what you see before you is one of the kids with the cookie display. They were able to use some of these things for their display. So I'm always looking at, thank you so much.
And I would like this display at every board.
So let me explain what you do have in front of you. You have the chocolate mousse, which is what they're learning right now. They're learning about custards. So the chocolate mousse, and then the red and white is called panna cotta. It's a white custard with a strawberry coulis. And then the yellow is lemon curd. So when I made the angel food cake, it takes 12 eggs just using the whites. So we take the yellows and we make a lemon curd with it. So there's no waste. Now, then there's chocolate cupcakes, vanilla and lemon cupcakes. And then the chocolate cake is a triple chocolate cake. And it's all for your consumption. I'm gonna leave and I'll come back. I'll come back tomorrow and pick up the trays.
What's a strawberry?
Oh, it's angel food cake. Yeah, it's angel food cake. I'm sorry, that was angel food cake, yes. So, and these are all things that the kids are learning in class. So all the kids have made what you're going to eat today, so.
They're beautiful.
Yes.
They're beautiful. Great instruction. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Bernie.
100%. All right. Last but certainly not least is Stacy Krug.
Okay, this is my my atom model, and the protons, neutrons, and electrons are inside. All right, I brought notes because I don't want to forget anything, and I'm extremely nervous. Okay. I would like to thank Yavapai County Education Foundation for awarding me this grant. I got it last May. The support provided by your foundation has made a significant impact on the learning experiences within my classroom. I was able to acquire a diverse range of educational materials that have enhanced the learning journey for my students. The Bright Atom model in particular has been invaluable with our exploration of the atomic structure. Its magnetic features and tactile nature have allowed my students to grasp complex concepts with ease, fostering a deeper understanding of the subject matter. The Brown Dog Gadgets origami circuits, that's the picture, sparked an incredible enthusiasm among my students during our STEM activities. We made light up Valentine's Day cards, and so it came with the light and then the copper, it was like tape, copper tape, and then a battery. So they had to understand how circuits work in order to make their circuit card light up. That was very exciting for them. Not only did it ignite their creativity, but also honed their problem-solving skills as they navigated through challenges to make the circuits come to life. There were some students that got it right away and were able to light up their card, and some had a lot of trouble, so it was really neat how some of the kids that understood could go around and help those that had more trouble. Additionally, the scientific method and ecology units, these are online, so I don't have these with me, have been instrumental in providing comprehensive learning resources for my students. It came with vocabulary, word balls, and interactive notebook activities. They have proven to be effective tools in reinforcing concepts that promote active engagement in the classroom. These resources have also been invaluable during our Cougar Academic Time sessions, allowing me to provide targeted support to students who required additional assistance. I would like to again thank Yavapai County Education Foundation for awarding me this grant money. It has been amazing for my students.
Quick question, if I could. What year is this? What grade?
I teach 6th and 8th.
Pardon?
6th and 8th grade.
Oh, 6th and 8th.
Yes.
Great, thank you.
Yes.
I just try to see in the realm of technology where this is fitting. So this is a good introduction then.
Yes.
Super, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Oh, okay. We have one more presentation. Come on up. I apologize, I don't have your name down.
No worries. All right, so I'm Beverly Hussein, a fourth grade teacher at Del Rio. And I was really excited to receive this grant because I attempted twice to get it on donor queues for twice as much money. So it was really wonderful. They're just stadium seats, but they're really sturdy and they They can hold up to 200 pounds. And I actually got 8 of them. And the reason I got them is because I really like a literacy-rich classroom. And I know there's no book attached to this, but kids love to sit in a quiet corner, grab a book, and it just really helps them to focus on the book and, you know, immerse into it. So they do all kinds of things with this, and I'm not going to demonstrate them, but I can tell you that, you know, they just love it. They can kick back, and they can also do partner work. We've even done some fluency where they'll be opposite and one will read to the other and they mark it off. They just love it. So it's really a great reward for them. And it makes the classroom a little bit more warmer, and options are always good for kids, you know? So they enjoy it. And I thank you very much because it is well used, all of them. So thank you. And thank you for adding me.
That's very innovative. Thank you.
Well,
It will hold the principal.
yes, it will. So it's really nice. And it's funny because the other ones were not half as nice as these, and yet they were like half the cost. I was able to get double the amount. And again, it's just the kids love them. And they feel like it's such a reward when I'm like, yeah, read. You know, so it works nicely. But thank you. I enjoy it, and I appreciate it so much.
Thank you.
Okay? Thank you.
Mr. Carter, do you want to come on up and say a few words or more?
Thank you. Good evening, Madam President, members of the board. It's always nice to be with you. It's always an enjoyable evening. And actually, I started this afternoon in Yarnell and heard a couple of these presentations down there. I think everybody knows that Yavapai County Education Foundation is the oldest foundation in Yavapai County from an educational standpoint. And it's the only one that is countywide. And we just spent $38,000 on these types of different programs, $500 for an individual classroom teacher. And it can be up to $1,000 if it's matched on a school-wide basis. So there were a couple of suggestions about things that if there was additional funding, what people might be able to do if we looked at it from a school-wide perspective. Certainly you have every reason in the world to be proud of your teachers. We certainly have a board that is very receptive, and we have a lot of donors. We always need more donors. And so it's our pleasure to be here and listen and observe, and you folks should be proud of the folks that you have understand. So thank you.
Thank you.
Be happy to answer any questions you might have about our foundation.
Doing a good job.
So I guess the important thing to know when I found out from Cindy this year, that the tax contribution is huge that we can make to that each year. What would you say?
To the Chino Valley Education
Yeah.
Foundation, because it's a QCO, but the foundation Mr. Carter's talking about is a 501c3. So theirs is different because it's the county
What's
foundation.
the county rev then just started, okay, well, I gave my money the wrong place then.
I guarantee you, we will find a way to take your money. Thank you, folks.
Send
Thank
an
you so much.
envelope and we'll fill it with a check.
We'll see what we can do about that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, item 6B is our special education update, and Ms. Caldwell's going to present that this evening.
Thank you.
All right, so I brought a little crew with me. I'm Maya Caldwell. I'm the Special Education Director.
I'm Joe Coomer, Assistant Special Ed Director / Instructional Coach for Special Ed. And Kristen Gomes, I'm the Administrative Assistant.
So tonight you've had props, you've had slideshows, you've had fun jokes. We're going to follow suit. We're going to give you a video. We're going to kind of diversify for you. We kind of sat down and thought, how do we give a good special education update? And we brainstormed and thought the best way to do that is for you to see our staff at work and really just understand all the incredible programs that we offer here in Chino. So we'll get on with the video and then we'll be here to answer any questions you have.
is Rebecca Ballard, and I am a resource teacher here at Del Rio Elementary School. I've been asked to explain our resource program. So it is the least restrictive program for special education. Resource is for students who can do well in general education, but they need extra support for those key skills that they struggle with in their academics. And so they go to general education and they come to resource for a certain amount of time during the day. But we're really just practicing and using repetition to master those key skills so that they could be successful in general education.
My name is Daryl Rankin. I'm one of the special education teachers at Chino Valley High School. I am in the extended resource program. My program has students that need a little more support than the regular resource program. In special education, you only qualify for math, various areas in reading and writing. And so what I offer in my program is some of the supports in those areas, as well as for extended resource science, extended resource social studies. I also have students that have some behavioral needs that don't require extensive or intensive program, but they can come to me and we set up schedules and routines and check-ins and things to help them adapt better to the high school setting.
Hi, my name is Crystal Keltner. I am the centers teacher over at Del Rio. I work with students that are in 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade. We focus on all the different learning needs that they have while also trying to access as much general education curriculum as we can. But we pretty much just meet students where they're at. Most of my students are more than 3 grade levels below, but I also have students who are performing at grade level, but they just, due to different needs, they're not able to perform in the general education full time. We try to have a smaller student to teacher ratio so that we can give all students the opportunity to learn in any way that they see fit.
AIM program, Autism Inspired Minds.
My name is Ms. Holly, and this is our AIMS program. All throughout the district, we have students with autism, but this class is especially important because it serves our high needs students who need help with nonverbal and verbal communication skills.
Hi, my name is Monica. I work an AIMS program. I like to help these kids, and my favorite part is PE class and the morning songs.
My name's Annie. I'm an autism certified technician here at the AIMS program, and I love working and advocating for these kids.
My name is Remington, and I love working in the AIMS program and making all the kids laugh.
Hi, my name is Alvaro Berrigan. I'm the EDP teacher here at Heritage Middle School. What is EDP? EDP is our emotional disability placement at Heritage Middle School. It's our self-contained classroom, and it's the most restrictive of our placements. The type of student we have in the EDP classroom are students with a traumatic past or with severe behaviors. The thing I pride myself the most is that in the EDP classroom, I do challenge students to hit their general education academic standards.
My name is Alyssa Severe, and I'm the special education counselor for Chino Valley. I work at all 4 schools. I typically am on about 1 campus per day, so I spread my time out. And my job primarily works with groups and individuals. With individuals, I do lots of emotional regulation, checking in. I do lots of social skill classes all across the district. I also do a lot of crisis support. So if a student is getting violent or talks about suicide or is just having a really bad day, I get a call to go meet with them.
Hi, I'm Ann Williams. I'm an occupational therapist for Chino Valley Unified School District. And so what I offer is school-based services. It is a related service, which means we cannot stand on our own. So usually a student has to qualify for special education. We work on building fine motor skills and how that impacts education in a variety of ways. So I help students use graphic organizers, templates. Sometimes they might need a special pencil for their writing. They might need a slant board to put their wrist in extension. We use adaptive paper here. Usually we do like a gross motor warm up that works on upper body or core strength before we get started. Usually a lot of my referrals are based on handwriting skills, but I also work on things like, can they open their snacks? Can they navigate safely around the campus? Can they cut well? Can they draw well? Can they color well? Things like that.
Hi, I'm Cindy Freyer. I'm the speech language pathologist at Territorial Early Childhood Center. I get to work with kiddos in kindergarten, first and second grade on their communication skills. So that looks at speech, which is how you produce your sounds, your words. Are you having tooties instead of cookies? Are you having wabbits instead of rabbits? Those are speech sound production or articulation. We work with kids who have fluency delays, so you may have a stutter that you need to work on. If you have a voice disorder, we can work on those. And then we also get to work on language skills.
Hi, I'm Kelly Murdoch. I'm the school psychologist over at Territorial Early Childhood Center, where we do Child Find once a month. Child Find is that we find children 0 to 21 that may have special needs. The majority of our Child Find once a month is 3 to 5 year olds. We work with another agency in the state called Arizona Early Intervention Program, who evaluate children 0 to 3. And if they find the child first and the child's turning 3, then we reassess and place them in our program if they have special needs. And then the 3 to 5 year olds, we also evaluate and see if they have special needs and then place them in our program. State mandates that we provide services for children ages 5 to 21. We do it as part of our child study team process, looking for children with special needs, but out in the community, if there are homeschoolers or children in private schools, we still are mandated to find these children.
Hi, my name is Sarah Marciello, and I am the preschool special education teacher. And here we provide early intervention special education services for our youngest learners through play, focusing on social emotional development, adaptive development, cognitive, and speech and language, and their physical development.
Hi, my name is John Daniels, and I'm a teacher here at Chino Valley High School. I teach transition from school to work. I have students who have learning disabilities. In the classroom, we learn about how to survive in the real world after graduation. Students are able to figure out whether they want to go to college, go to the military, or just get a job. We learn all about life skills, how to cook meals, how to interview, resumes, and that sort of stuff.
Hi, my name is Jinda Ballard, and I am the lead teacher and coach for the Unified Sports Team at Chino Valley High School. We're in our 11th year, so that is super exciting, and we are a 2-time Unified Champion School. That's a nationwide award, so that is very cool, not just for us, but for our whole school to be able to say that we have done that. One reason why we are a Unified Champion School is because our school supports us in inclusion. We had a 1-minute fundraiser called the Miracle Minute. And for 1 minute, our school gave their least change. And in 1 minute, our school donated over $1,600. So it is school-wide on board for inclusion. One reason I love Unified Sports is there's athletes who are students with special education needs, and then there are partners who are students that do not have disabilities, and they partner or pair together to practice and compete together. So amazing to watch those friendships form. If you ask me what's my favorite thing about Unified, it would be the friendships that are built.
One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7,
So that is our video. I promise I think the Wi-Fi might have came in and out, but it is, up to speed if you all wanted to see it again. But we're really proud of the different things that we offer, and we're here to answer any questions that you might have.
That was a great video.
Yes, thank you. I have a 14-year-old daughter who's aspiring to do this for her career, so she came in and did this for us.
It's nice to see typical children accepting children with special needs as friends. I think that's awesome.
Unified is an incredible program. Coach Ballard is exceptional. So I agree.
And Coach Van Orden too.
And then at the HMS. Yeah.
That's great. Anything on this side?
Impressed.
Thank you. I didn't know half of that stuff, so that's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Item 6C, Ms. Daniels, the superintendent report.
Good evening, everybody. In your packet, you'll find a superintendent report that looks a little bit different than we're used to, but you might recognize the graphics from the forums that we had in December, where staff had an opportunity to ask and answer questions. These are the main focus areas for the district, and each month throughout my tenure as superintendent, we will be looking at things that we're celebrating for each of these focus areas, things that we're monitoring, and things that we're adjusting. So you're up to speed on all of the things that are important here. And at our workday on May 29th, we'll be going over these areas and setting some specific goals. So in the future, you'll see the celebrate, monitor, and adjust as related to the goals for each of these areas. So I have a couple things that I wanted to highlight for you in the focus areas. And then, of course, you're free to ask any questions that you want about that. But our first focus area is safe schools. In the celebrate column, I wanted to draw your attention to something called CSTAG Threat Assessment Team. And one thing that we're celebrating about that, on March 22nd, 20 of our certified staff members, 16 of our certified and 4 classified were trained in the only nationally recognized and approved threat assessment protocol. And our school resource officers participated, administrators, school psychologists, our incoming special ed director, a wide variety of people. We have a district level team, and each school has a team. So the training was put on by the Arizona Risk Retention Trust, our insurance company. And the purpose of this is when we have a threat at a school, could be a threat that might be something between 2 children, could be something that a kid utters. We now are all trained in a nationally recognized protocol to know exactly what questions we should ask, what kinds of things we should examine. And as we work our way through the protocol, then we can decide, is this a transient or a temporary threat? Is this a substantive threat? Is it very substantive? Should we include law enforcement? And since the training, we've had the opportunity to use the protocol 5 times. And what we found is in that process, and that was among 2 different campuses, what we found is the parents of the children who were involved were extremely grateful and have thanked us because they said, we feel confident that the school knows what to look for and is following something and doing it systematically. So even in this basic infancy of us rolling it out, it's already working to increase the confidence level we have among our staff and among our relationship with the community at large and with the parents. And so that was something that I wanted to point out, because as we begin to really concentrate on all the different components of safety, understanding, is this threat a legitimate threat? It could be two kids threatening to have a fight, for example. Is this a legitimate threat? Could be something that maybe there's been a report on a school bus. And so we can work our way through the threat assessment tool, and it doesn't take very long to do the tool, but we have found that the information gleaned from the use of the tool has been spot on and has enabled us to decide whether to go forward with discipline, to refer a student to an outside agency for assistance, or maybe to involve law enforcement. So we're trained in that and we're having at it. We hope we don't have to use it all the time, but here we are. You know, we're getting good practice already. Under our employee engagement, I want to point out that so far, every single teacher we've hired has been fully certified. We have hired 11 teachers so far. All are fully certified, and we hired a fully certified full-time school psychologist, which will enable us to reduce our purchase services by 50%. And 28 years experience, out-of-state person. We're hoping to house that person maybe at the high school. So you can make her. But we do have a new full-time psychologist who's also fully certified. We have, in the little place with the academic looking stuff, we have expanded our partnership with Yavapai College. And what does that mean? Additional course offerings. We're working with YC for some new course build outs at the high school that will involve alternatives. So our students who are in a general English, senior English class will work through all of the curriculum that through partnership with YC that will enable a student to never have to take a remedial English class when they hit the college door. Everybody who leaves senior English would be ready to go to 101 or 102 if they didn't do it with us. I know that was a question raised during Call to the Public a couple months ago. So I wanted you to know that we're well on our way to making sure that that's well taken care of. With the financial stability, Mr. Livingston has his own report, so I'm not going to yak it up too much about that. But Charlie Alsop, who is our procurement officer, received an award at the Arizona School Business Officers Conference last week in Laughlin for procurement practices, which is super cool. And one of their goals for the upcoming year is better utilization of purchasing cooperatives. And to streamline our purchasing process, they want to enhance how they're using purchasing cooperatives. CTE always has lots of good things to celebrate, including food. But we have a new, Yavapai College is offering a new general ag cert. So it's one more industry cert in our kids' pockets who are going through our agriculture programs. In our character development, I want to talk about something we don't get to talk about very often, and that's the Positive Actions program at Territorial. Brandy runs probably the most robust character ed program in the district, and it's super cool because every time I'm there, there are kids being recognized for their positive character traits, basically their citizenship on campus among each other. One of the things that I thought was super cool, we are doing much better. We're monitoring driver retention and recruitment and training. We're working on this summer, they're going to be working on behavioral expectations and new and improved bus evacuation procedures. We have to practice that every year. But one of the things that Selena shared with me, our transportation director, is Chino Valley Education Foundation sponsored a behavior improvement program for transportation this year called I Was Caught Being Great on the Bus. The bus drivers have business cards that say, I was caught being great on the bus. And when they catch a kid doing the right stuff, instead of always calling out the negative stuff, they give the kid a card. The kid can exchange it at their school office for immediate gratification. Could be candy bar, Takis, jerky, trinkets, Skittles. Not googly eyes. Or they can put it in a drawing for delayed gratification for a much larger prize. So far, Ed's campus is the campus of delayed gratification. And I've been able to go over there on their news, on their KDRN, and draw for kids who might get a remote control car or a Lego set or something like that. So the Chino Valley Education Foundation sponsors that in a partnership with transportation to try to give the drivers tools to interact positively with kids instead of negatively with kids. So in regard to facilities, one of the things I wanted to highlight was there were actually two, that our facilities, gentlemen, custodians, maintenance are working hard on adding industry certifications to each of the positions. So we don't have to go outside for purchase services, that they are trained and certified to do things like pesticide application or that kind of thing in-house. So that HVAC, that has been saving the district a lot of money to have certified individuals who are on our payroll. So kudos to Chris for that. And that we are doing a lot of projects in-house instead of subbing them out. So Chris has been very proactive in hiring people. Like the district has a locksmith. That was a huge win for the district because we've been working on rekeying classrooms and buildings throughout the district. And I can tell you this, my key ring's gone from like 1 million keys to 3. So, I mean, that tells you that we're on the right track with that. A big thing for technology is they are in the process, in addition to taking stuff down and moving it around, because the HVAC project, they're working hard to go through, we have thousands of devices, as you might imagine. We have well over 3,000, what we would call PCs, whether they're Chromebooks, laptops, desktop computers. And they're going through the process of making sure that everything that needs to be Windows 11 ready is Windows 11 ready, because that'll be a big, huge rollout. So everything that needs it, they're in the process of doing that. And of course, combating ongoing cybersecurity threats, which are almost, they're a daily occurrence anymore. And then the last thing that I want to highlight on our community partnerships was for really the first time ever. This year, we have a partnership between Mountain Institute and Heritage Middle School. And I hinted a bit that part of that partnership is a $46,000 grant award for equipment for the woodshop robotics and our unmanned aircraft systems programs at Heritage, which in Heritage's CTE programs are all STEM focused. So if you think about that, we're working hard to create that interest in those STEM projects now. And the one thing I love is that woodshop gives kids the confidence and courage to do things hands-on and gives them a pathway to construction trades and programs that we have offered through the high school Mountain Institute. The other part is that Mr. Steinberg talked about the woodshop. Peter, you talked about how cool it is. We're almost doubling the size through another $30,000 gift from Mountain Institute. So this month alone, over $76,000 direct cash infusion to Mountain Institute. And that's because I dragged Caitlin, truthfully, through the snow to Mountain Institute one night to talk all about the great things she has going on. And she said, will this result in anything? I said, I don't know. Let's just be patient. So here we are, patience rewarded. So this is the ultimate delayed gratification, I think, for Heritage. So that's really exciting because there is only one other middle school in the partner districts of Mountain Institute that they have invested any money in. And Heritage has received more than double what the other school has received from Mountain Institute. So, and Mountain Institute's funding some of those through their industry partners. So that's getting more industry people invested in education at that level as well. So it's exactly what we want to see. So those are the things I thought you might be interested in for everybody, and there are a few extras lying around. It dawned on me, when you get the calendar only in the packet and you turn your packet in at the end of the meeting, you never know what's going on. So here you go. It's a standalone. There are handouts for other people if they want to know what's going on in the district between now and the end of the year. But this is a fairly exhaustive list in case there are things that you would like to be able to participate in. ADM is holding steady for now. And you will see a resignation on the agenda this evening. Our student data management gal will not be, she's finishing the week and that's it. But Kathleen Little has volunteered to come back and help us out in the transition again. So we'll have good, accurate, up-to-date numbers for you at the next meeting, but right now we're home steady.
I love this. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any questions about the chart or anything else?
Such a good direction. Again, I appreciate that one a lot too. You're welcome. Anyone? Okey dokey, let's move on to item 61, financial reports. Mr. Livingston.
Thank you, Madam President, members of the board. A quick look at the March 31st, 2024 financial picture for the district. At that point in the year, we've used 75% of the operating days at that 9-month point. In our operating fund, 72% is spent. So we have a little drag. We're not at 85% spent. We like that. We're behind the percent of year. Capital fund, we've got 43% still available. And our adjacent ways, we've got 20.58% still available. We use that for our parking facility at Del Rio Elementary, our adjacent waste fund. We also use it for some of the fire lane over at the many houses just to the west of Del Rio there. And just a focus for just a second on these reports. I'd like to focus on one thing that Assistant Superintendent Ms. Daniels made here. Fund 691, and that's our school facilities board, I guess you could say, activity. So if you can just pass, let's see, I think they're all right here. Here we go. Pass these around and just keep it on this side for a minute. And she did summarize, Cindy did a great job summarizing where we're at with this fund. I'll just wait for everybody. If you keep the side up that you were handed with the 27 million in the lower right corner, these are, and there should be one more for Karen. Okay, these are projects that I have to describe in one of about 3 ways. They're not closed. They've all been approved, except some at the bottom there. So if it's in progress, it started in some cases 2.5 years ago. So the big ones that take the first 8 lines there are about $25 million. That is our HVAC projects. We've got 2 vendors working there. The top 2, actually it's the numbers 2 and 3. Del Rio's HVAC installation, 3.9 million, and Heritage, 5.04 million. They're about 80% paid. So I could change these, but they would change every meeting or every week. We're paying out another $583,000 this week on those 2 projects. So there's the HVAC projects up top. That's the big 4 numbers, 7.3 million, 3.9, 5 million twice. And then Del Rio and Heritage are in the middle. So those 2 schools, Del Rio and Heritage, are about 80% paid, maybe a little bit more. Then down below, we have quality, I guess you could say quality control, make sure there's no roofs that leak once we do these penetrations and we install these HVAC units. So we have another company, in addition to Pueblo Progressive Roofing, coming in, and for, in this case, Del Rio, $796,000, they make sure none of the penetrations leak, that they're all sealed. So those 4 together are about, another 4.8 million, all those together. The ones I'd like to talk about for just a second, in progress, meaning they've been approved, are the next 3, numbers 9, 10, and 11. If you go to the far left, I call it nominal, just which numbers they are. So we are about 90, well, actually they're installed. The high school gym has 2 huge chillers on it that are also gas package heating units. That was awarded, this is all school facilities board money that we applied for, $111,200. All they have to do is finish the last of some economizers. Our facilities department is extremely clever, and they've got these low-cost fans that take cooler outside air in the hot summer days and blow that cooler air right into the gym and into these schools, rather than run that expensive HVAC compressor and condenser. So that's the last thing they had. They had these on order. It took 9 months to get these units. So they approved these funds back in August, September, maybe even in June, if I go all the way back when this project was approved. They got them about the middle of March. This is TDK Comfort Systems, our local supplier here. So they're doing a great job. The next one is, again, about a 1.5 year project, $131,000 for a Del Rio school fire alarm think do we have a fire watch in place there right now, Dr. Moody? So
We do.
So that's our preventive. If there's any smoke coming from the building, we have it reported right away. But those materials they're ordered. We paid the first $6,000 for permits about 3 weeks ago. They should be done by the end of the school year, the fire alarm. That's what we hear. And the other one, and I can't speak too much about this, maybe Dr. Moody's a little closer to it, the $414,000 that we were awarded. This took a year to get awarded. Apparently there's some masonry units in the wall around the gym that have failed. Some concrete or mortar is put in. Have you ever looked up through the corner and seen sunlight coming in when you're inside the gym? So that's $414,000, and that's quite the job to go in and resurface concrete and masonry and reblock the wall. So that's, again, three big projects there. And then I keep calling Ms. Thomas and Superintendent John Scholl to get these signed approvals. If you go to the bottom, you see 18,500, and we have to get terms and conditions. They have a really nice way of doing business, the School Facilities Board. They have us sign a 9-page set of terms and conditions saying we will apply for the funds and use them for the purpose intended and nothing else, and then we get the funds. So that's what those terms and conditions are for. And these are really recent, and it's about 18,500 for new carpet in each building. So we've got, I just on the pull down there, I needed to update CVHS, HMS, and DRS, got everything there for them. But they've got 4 different projects per building. If you flip the page, you should see a little summary there, 4.2 million, and those are closed and completed. And a lot of them are studies and designs. We've got also some bleachers. We've got the $2 million for the new gas lines. We've got the $112,000 for the building behind us here, the gym. They completely did a new floor, and they completely did the new stage. That was all paid for these 4.2 million with the fund. And that's really all I have. So together, it's almost $32 million that we've been awarded over the last 3 years. So it's really cool to have the state, what was your word here? Better. And it's an objective of the facilities department in improve school facilities board relationships. So I think that we're there, and we just hope to keep things going until everything's done. So thank you for your support, and you've answered my phone call at several different unopportune, inconvenient times. President, so thank you.
Of course.
Any questions for the month end, March 31st?
This side? This side? All right. No, but if you want to go ahead and go into the student activity fund report, that'd be lovely.
Okay, great. What we have is about 3 lines down from the top. We see several new student activity programs that are approved: boys basketball at HM at the Heritage Middle School, cross country, drone club, flight club, girls basketball, and student council's already been there, but there's 3 or 4 new ones there. As they hold fundraisers, they will bring forward expenditures. So these are cash-based funds as well. So they're new. You do see some activity, but if you see no beginning balance, you know that they're basically new this year. And they are active. There's some encumbrances in that second to the last page there, second to the last column. And this is working really well. Our funds are secured, and we have active clubs.
Any questions on student activity? All right. Thank you. Moving along, we are at item 7A through L, A through M. I need to look at my right sheet. Yes, your updated ones here. For our consent agenda, so without seeing anything pulled or any other conversation, we're not going to pull that this evening. Thank you.
I'll make a motion for the approval of the consent agenda.
A second. Okay,
That
all in
works.
favor? Aye. Item 8A, let me make sure that I'm right. Yes, item 8A, the school psychologist entry salary schedule, please.
Yes, good evening, Madam Chair and board members. So when we were looking at recruiting a psychologist, we found that our old salary schedule was not very competitive. So we sat down with Mr. Scholl and myself and Ms. Daniels, and we came up with a new salary schedule. And I'm asking tonight if you could go ahead and approve it. Okay. Any questions over here? Or any explanations, questions, explanations? Okey dokey. Seeing none, I would entertain a motion to approve item 8A.
I'll make a motion for the approval of the 2024-2025 school psychology entry salary schedule.
And a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. I see you're
Still
still
here.
here. Not as long as last month. I've really shortened it down.
School nurse. Go
Yes,
ahead.
so the district staff is requesting a second school nurse. We have two of our paras who one has already resigned and left the district, and the other one is going to actually it's been accepted in nursing school. So in looking at our needs of our students, we decided that we need another school nurse, a registered nurse. So we will have Catherine Werner at Heritage, and then the new school nurse over at Tech for next year. And we'll keep the other two positions as health aides. And that way we have somebody on each side of the highway in case of emergency, because right now with Catherine, it's just too much. And we end up finding that we have more and more students that have health issues that need to be attended to. And it is, so we went ahead and added it to the 24-25 classified staff entry salary schedule to begin next school year.
It's microscopic.
Yeah, I'm very small, sorry.
Has this been advertised, or do you have
We
someone
have
in
it,
mind
we
already?
have it advertised, and Catherine and I spoke today, and she has a few people that are interested in it. So we're excited.
That's great.
Quick question. Are these RNs that we'd be hiring?
Yes, an RN.
Not PAs, but RNs?
Yes.
Great, thank you.
Yeah.
Do they have to have their BA or just?
No, she
their
said as
RN
long as we could have
status?
an AA and as long as they're a registered nurse.
All right, any other questions first? Okay, then I'll entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make the motion for the approval of updated 2024-2025 classified salary schedule to include school nurse position.
And a second, please.
I will
second. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And my last item is the personnel report and supplement. And we have 9 new certified staff members, 2 new classified subs, 16 resignations, 1 retiring, 1 termination, 12 certified changes, 7 classified changes, 1 coach, and 177 timesheets.
Not much. All right, yeah, go ahead.
I'll make the motion for the approval of the personnel report with the supplement.
Second, please.
I'll second it.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Item 9A, Ms. Crawford, updating the current valedictorian and salutatorian criteria.
I'm getting so comfortable up here. The proposal you have in front of you kind of compares the calculations that we currently have right now to come up with our balance out versus a new proposal that will, I think, honor the additional diplomas, the tracks that we have implemented for the whatever 2020 freshman class. It's just in the 28s, 29s, 30s, and 31s graduating classes in the near future. In short, this one will be, I think, more equitable. If you just look at the math calculations of student 1, you'll see that they have 5 classes and only 4 of them are calculated into their GPA. So with the current calculation system, they're earning like 5. With weighted classes and things like that, they're above a 4.0. If you look at the student number 2, where they're taking almost the exact same courses, except it's a full course load, everything is being factored, they actually have a lower GPA. And so kids who are doing more are actually, or kids who are doing less are excelling on paper, mathematically, exactly. So the math is telling us a different story. So kids who are doing more, we kind of wanted to acknowledge that, and that will also go right hand in hand with our new diplomas in the different tracks. So we're asking kids to take 24 or more credits, minimum is 22. And so if they're going above and beyond, we kind of wanted to acknowledge that and recognize it. There's been a lot of controversy over the current grading system with the calculations, and I think that this is a bit more equitable. It's going to acknowledge and recognize the AJET courses that we have, concurrent enrollments, CTE courses, and it's just been an evolving thing. You don't know what you don't know, and with the current course offerings, the current system doesn't recognize everything that the kids have available to them and are taking advantage of.
Any questions? I think it's great that we're doing this.
Yeah. Well, we've been laboring over this since September, so thank you.
Fantastic. This is an action item, so if we could get a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion for the approval to update the current valedictorian and salutatorian criteria.
And a second, please.
I have a second. Oh, I'm sorry, Peter.
Your
Your
dealer's
turn.
choice.
That's my turn.
Okay.
You first.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Right.
All right, item 9B, it's Miss Julie
Yeah.
Rice.
Oh. You're gonna see me so much. It's gonna be fun. Karen's very excited. Madam President, members of the board, tonight, I have two items for you tonight. The first one is to bring a phonics program to Territorial Elementary. They would like to supplement the current program they have from the, and the one they want to bring in is from the University of Florida. I absolutely am thrilled because I used this program when I taught first grade many moons ago at Territorial. So I know it firsthand, and it is a wonderful program. And so I am requesting that it go in front of a committee, and Territorial will pilot it. Lizzie will pilot it in her program. And so I'm asking permission for that. Any questions over here? Thank you.
How about you, gentlemen?
Will this be easier for the kids to learn phonics?
I don't know if it'd be easier, but it's a more systematic program, and it's going to add to the materials that they have currently. So we do feel that those children will be more successful with the phonics.
That's important.
It is very, but we still want that rigor there.
All right. Seeing no other comments or questions, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
I will make the motion for the approval of the pilot UFLI phonics program for tech.
I'll second it. All in favor? Aye.
Thank you. We will go work with Brandy and Lizzie and get that committee going, and we'll be back in 2 months.
Okay.
All right, and now. Okay, now I am here to ask for the adoption of our ELA curriculum that I brought in front of you 2 months ago. For 6-11, I'm excited about working with Yavapai College for the 12th graders. I think that is an excellent program that we're going to bring to them. So I'm really excited about that. But this is 6-11, and the committee met. We met 3 times, and I had ELA teachers. I had 2 parents from Heritage, and I had 2 parents from Chino Valley High School on the committee, along with teachers, and I had special ed teacher and our English language teacher director from the high school. And the comments I received, they like the diversity and complexity of the text. The students from the middle school really enjoyed the discussion board. I don't know if you've taken a college class lately, but you see this on college classes nowadays where there's a discussion board and you can go in and answer questions, and students can have a discussion on that board, and they really enjoyed that. This curriculum will increase the rigor in their classrooms, so teachers are very excited about that.
The program was user-friendly. They really enjoyed and liked the grammar component that's added to it. And it was unanimous vote. So I'm asking you to vote for us to adopt and purchase this curriculum.
So all the ELA staff liked it, is what you're saying.
Yes.
That's the most critical thing.
And it was up for review for 60 days.
It was.
Do you know how many people viewed it?
One.
Said one.
Oh, wow. Classes.
And it was one of my parents checked out and looked at the curriculum.
That was going to be the obvious question. Then I read the last line. One person showed up.
We had one parent.
Yay.
That may be a record, huh?
I think so.
Yeah, someone showed up.
Yeah, exactly.
All
Yes.
right. Any other questions or comments on either side? All right, with seeing none, I will entertain a motion.
I'll make the motion to approve the adoption of Sabbath, My Perspectives, ELA textbooks for HMS and CVHS.
And a second, please.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
All right. I thank you, and our ELA department and students, thank you.
Thank you. Item 10A, CVUSD Summer Cougar Camp. Going to be presented by Miss Gina.
Hi guys, hi Miss Gina. I made packets.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. For you guys who don't know me, my name's Gina Graham. Hold on a second. I'm never nervous. They told me to make sure to put you all in your underwear when I come in here. Okay, no.
You want something to eat?
I know, it's like, let's do this. Anyway, I've been a preschool teacher at Tech for 8 years, and I've been working on a much needed summer program for over a year now. What I came up with is a six-week cougar camp that is designed for current Chino Valley students, ages 5 to 11. The camp will run Monday through Friday with different themes each week. The themes include pottery, theater, dance, sports, and much more. Cougar Camp will give students a place to go and socialize with peers, engage in fun activities, and give parents a safe place for their child to be throughout the summer, which is a big demand right now. We're looking to have at the most 80 campers and 11 adult staff. This program will fund itself, meaning campers' fees will pay staff salary. The campers will be able to have breakfast and lunch each day provided by the summer food program. Dr. Moody has allowed us to use 4 classrooms in the cafeteria on his campus, thank you, to host our program. The initial plan was to have it at Tech, however, due to the AC installation and food program, Del Rio is our best option. If we continue, I would like to move the program back over to Tech in the future and of course follow the food program for the benefit of the kids. The district administration has been very supportive, not just with the idea, but also the business end of the program. I've included a packet for each of you to review containing more detailed information. My goal is to get this program started ASAP and get information out to the parents so they can get kids to sign up. Do you guys have any questions?
I think this is so wonderful, Miss Gina.
Thank you. It's been a work in progress, a big work in progress. I did summer daycare at my house and the demand was so high and I was like, I gotta get these kids out of my house and then meet the needs of a lot more. Ask my husband, he's like, yes, out of my house. Yeah, it's such a huge demand. The Heights Church was having it. They no longer are doing the full-on summer program with the themes. So I was like, we have to do something. We also have a lot of paras that are hourly and they don't get paid through the summer. And so this is a great opportunity for them to make some money also.
Have you surveyed any parents or any people with small children?
I have.
And is the cost going to be prohibitive, do you think?
I have, and in fact, the ones I surveyed are the kids that when I closed my daycare, I asked the parents, what would you like? And the prices are pretty comparable what my in-home daycare was. And I'm looking at it more like if you have 2 or 3 kids, I want to make it affordable where parents aren't going to have to go get another job just to get their kids through the program. So with the $150 a week, it's very comparable to a lot of the other centers, summer programs. $50 registration is actually going to cover the supplies. So this is completely self-funded. I'm not asking for any money from anywhere. It's just, hopefully it's going to, the way that we're keeping our fingers crossed, Cindy and I have been going back and forth with it, but the way we're keeping our fingers crossed that it's going to be completely self-funded. In there's a page that shows how many campers I need to how many staff. We'll balance it out as far as fees versus salaries and everything. So sorry, my spreadsheet went a little bit off the board for the second page, but anyhow.
I did see that when you sign up, it's a minimum of 4 weeks. So somebody just like myself couldn't just take my kid there for 1 week?
It has to be a minimum 4 weeks, and that's basically so we can cover I can hire the staff and make sure that they have employment for those, for a portion, a good portion of the summer. We did talk about, I talked with Mr. Scholl, he said, as the summer goes on, if let's say that those 4 weeks, those parents signed up and they're like, hey, I want to add another week, absolutely you can, because you've already done the 4 weeks. So, but we are doing it just to Chino Valley, currently enrolled students right now, because we feel like that we're going to give them the best opportunity. I know there's a lot of administration that's been reaching out, wanting to make sure that they're, she's waiting for this to get approved so I can get her signed up. And but it's really a neat program because it's 4 different themes each week, and the kids are rotating classes. So they're spending an hour in each of the themed classes. The ages are going to be, so it's 5 to 11. That's a pretty big span. But like we're going to keep 5 and 6-year-olds together in their group. And then they have an hour worth of recreation and lunch in the cafeteria where they're going to play pool, ping pong, board games, all that. My goal is to not have any devices. We're not, it's all going to be hands-on, interactive, much like, and then 1 week is completely sports. So I'm reaching out to a lot of the high school sports teams saying, let's teach these kids the fundamentals of volleyball, of football, of baseball, of this, to where they can get honors hours also and teach our kids things that they need to learn. So, and with his campus, he's got great grass out there, which we're hoping to get at one point at our school, but we're working on it. Great place for them to be able to go out and really have a good time. And right now the ratio is looking about 3 adults per 20 kids, which is pretty good. I mean, they're going to be able to step down and go to the bathroom without having to worry about anything. So.
Gina, I have one question. Is there any way that a single mom could get any financial assistance with this?
Right now, I'm going to say no, because this is our pilot program. I just definitely want to get off the ground. But next year, I'm really looking into scholarships. I'm also looking into getting 12, 13, and 14-year-olds to come as junior counselors where they don't get paid, but they're still going to assist in the program and earn junior hours for it and so forth. But right now, I want to get this going, and then I'll look into scholarships, and then even maybe if it works out well, I wouldn't even mind having a pay throughout the year, so they can put $50 in their summer camp fund, so it's paid by the time they hit the summer program.
Where this reason, the parents drop the kids off by 8:30, pick them up at 3:30. Where do both parents work? How do you get it?
So we have an after, we didn't go as far as doing the before care program, but we do have an aftercare program, which will be on the actual site. So it's going to be from 3:30 to 5. So it's going to give an opportunity for kids to stay a little bit later. I'm kind of going with along the hours of what I had in my daycare and what my demands were for my parents. I feel that we'll be able to fill it with that, we'll fill the 80 with that range. If there's a need where I get several parents that come in and say, hey, I need a drop off at 7, and I can hire people to work. I'm just running into overtime by then. If I'm having somebody from 7 to 5, I'm looking at overtime hours. But if that's a need, I'll definitely accommodate it if it's
in
worth it.
today's world, that's so common, and that's what I was concerned that it's going to cut out I don't know what the percentage is, but a significant portion of potential kids with both parents at work, and they just can't get them there and back.
So what I've run into a lot as far as working at Tech is that a lot of my parents they work from home. Several of my parents work from home, and they are able to do a drop off, to meet those hours. But if like I said, if the demand comes up and it's like, hey, I need a 7 o'clock and I can fit it in there. Right now, I didn't want to plan for it if I didn't have the funds to cover the salary for the workers.
And if the parent isn't there right at 3:30, that there's somebody there to watch the kids until the parent shows up?
No, I just leave. It says by 3:30. Absolutely, there is. So basically,
it's an obvious question, but
absolutely. Trust me, I totally understand. So basically, our aftercare program is till 5. So the 2 people that are running the aftercare are going to still be there for that.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Any other questions?
This may be more directed to Ms. Daniels and Mr. Livingston. Are there going to be any school funds available just as an in case?
Well, it is, so one of the things that Gina and I talked about is it's very similar to our CASA program. So our CASA program, when we started that 15 years ago, was that it needed to be self-funding. And some of the differences are that our CASA program, our DES license room and DHS license room, we are not doing that for this program because licensing for a temporary program, a summer program licensing is pretty challenging. And so we do have people that can use their public assistance monies for childcare for our current after-school program. So that's a difference. The price of this day program for summer is actually much cheaper than people would pay anywhere else. So it's, believe it or not, it's affordable. And it's one thing Gina and I talked about is it feels like a pretty big hit, but if you work and have kids, you know, you expect to have to pay for summer programming. And so you know what that is. Right now, it needs to be entirely self-funding. We did not reserve any district funds for it because this is not an academic program. We're not providing transportation. We are not making provisions for special needs students. This is not a special needs summer program. This is not a something that we pick kids up for. This is strictly day camp for kids. And so one thing that we did about that, and that's why, you know, my feeling was they needed to prepay the whole summer. And Gina was like, I want them to pay by the week. And I'm like, they aren't going to. And then you'll have them drop off their kids without paying. And so I said, and you can't say to staff, well, I need 4 of you this week and 6 of you next week and 2 of you the following week, because nobody would want to work for you, right? Mm-hmm. So we worked through all that and decided that a 1-month prepay would assure her of the number of staff that would be needed. And then she can gauge it, because some people might pick their 4 weeks to start 2 weeks into summer and go through July. So there's some, you know, fluctuating with that. We probably will have a need for early AM drop off, judging from who gets dropped off at the schools at what time of the morning, but we'll see. So we're allowing for the pre-registration to start tomorrow to really gauge that need. And then Gina will know how much staff do I need. And then she can adjust accordingly up front, so we don't have to back it up with district funds. So we've set up an account in the district to pool the funds to pay the staff from. Gina got together because we're rolling out a different electronic payment platform for the district than we've typically been using. So we're rolling out a Square payment system. So Gina's families will be able to pay via Square through an online portal. We're also using Square for our sports physicals for the first time. So we're giving it a whirl. But we think this affords the most flexibility with no financial risk to the district. And so because it's not for special needs, because it's not academic, because we're not providing transportation, this is normal summer programming. The one thing Gina doesn't know is that on Wednesday, I had a lady stop me who was a career, in fact, her husband was here presenting. I'm talking to you about Yavapai County Education Foundation. And she stopped me and said, I have a whole shipping container full of art supplies and lessons, already labeled, things cut out, divided by grade level. And I would like to offer that to Chino Valley School District. I've offered it to a neighboring district. Nobody ever responded. So I called our district's lead art teacher and said, call her. She called her the next morning. And so there's a very good chance that quite a few of the things that Gina might like to do this summer, because a lot of the things that are there were for things like art in the park, you'll be able to have for free.
Nice.
So we're working on that.
Free.
So I'm doing some other things to try to offset her cost without putting the district in a financially liable situation.
Now come next year, it'll be a whole nother story. This is gonna be so successful that we're gonna go so many different directions with it. Just saying, mark my words, because it is. This is gonna be awesome.
I think this is a really great idea. And I have worked with Miss Gina, and I don't really think there's anything you can't do.
Thank you.
You're kind of a jack of all trades.
Just a little bit.
But not only that, the children absolutely love you, which I think is so awesome, including my own. So we're really lucky to have you.
Thank you. And this is my baby. This is my heart and soul. And among all the other things that I've done, when I closed my daycare, I promised my parents, I was like, I'm not going to leave you hanging. I literally had a kid that could have drove to my house. That's how long he was at my daycare, because he just wanted to come to my house all the time. But I said, I will make something happen for you guys. And the more I spread it around, everybody's like, we need this. I've seen too many kids dropped off at the aquatic center. Parents, it's like it closes and it's like these kids have nothing to do. I was like, this way they get to have fun, they get to interact. I basically, we do have the strike 1, 2, 3 policy, along with the school district rules. Because if you're just gonna bring trouble here, I don't want, you're gonna go home. And then the parents have to initial off saying, this is how it's gonna be, and there's no refunds for it, so. But I'm super excited, so thank you for all your questions and input on it.
All right, this also is an action item. If we're done with questions.
I would gladly like to approve the adoption. Oh, wait, hold on, sorry. Okay, approve Cougar Camp as a fee-based 6-week summer program.
A second, please.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Ms.
Have
Gina.
fun.
Thank you so much.
All right, item 11A is the second reading, no, this is first reading. Second.
Yeah.
My, it's getting late. Second reading of policies that we reviewed at the last meeting. Does anyone want to go over any of them? I believe there were just very, very insignificant changes.
Well
Small
covered last
changes. All righty, well, this also is an action item, so.
I'll make it a motion for the approval of the second reading of the above policies.
Okay, second?
Second.
Okay, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. I need to. Good night. See you next month. But we still have to go into it, right? Okay.
No.